Hello, everybody, and welcome to another meeting of Aquaholics Anonymous. Of course, Chattanooga Ed, thank you for being here, and the lovely Mrs. Fever for joining us tonight. She's not been on in a while, and we've not hosted an open Q&A in a while, so I figured we'd go ahead and throw the two together. I'm going to go through here and say some hellos real quick before we get into everything tonight. As far up as I can go is John Larson, followed by Tampa Tom Fishing, Mickham, Sarah Lynn Snow, T-Bones Fishies, Gina French, Chattanooga Ed, of course, in the chat as well. There's John Larson again. Good to see you. S, how are you? The easiest name to say on here. Rico Stan, I think I got you, but if not, hey, buddy, how's it going? Great video earlier. If you've not seen Rico Stan's channel, I was listening to it, to his video he put out earlier. He sounds a lot like Ben Ochard a lot of the time. He really does. He's got the tone and inflection, the way he talks. It a couple times I was like, did it autoplay to a Ben Ochard video? So go check that out. Besides his awesome tanks.
Did he change his little icon? Because now he looks like God. I was noticing that earlier. I was going to ask him because it's like, oh my God, God.
Absolutely. Dragon Lair, Fish Pappy. I may have missed some people there. Chief Reap, how are you? Codyson, what's going on, my friend? Chevy Fish. Scrolling.
Chevy Fish. I text Bob. I didn't call him because we were just about to go live. So I don't know what's up. I haven't heard anything. I haven't talked to him since yesterday.
I hope he is okay. I've not spoken to him either, but if anybody hears from Bob, or if you're in the chat, Bob, let us know. Let's see. Chris John, Mismatched Socks, Darlene's Tanks, BJ Palmer. I hate stupid people. I like that. Like that a lot. John McKenzie, Scott's Aquatics. Again, T-Bone, hello. Oh, and it jumped on me. Terry's Tropical Tanks, Chad Krotz, and Fishy Mom 64, Sandy Doty. I missed a couple people, I'm sure. I'm up at 9:29. What's going on? So, before we jump into the Q&A, which feel free to throw questions in there now, and we will start at the top of the questions and roll on down. If you put at Fishroom Fever in the chat, it will highlight for me, and it sticks out a lot better. I'm a lot more likely to see it. I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody. It's been a really, really great week. Had a lot of awesome things happen. Everything from Aquarium Co-op reached out to me in an email, and they're going to send out a package. We're not going to talk about what's in the package until it gets here. There'll be a video for that. But that was awesome. I also got put onto a product tester list for a fishy product, which I want to make sure I can say who and what that is beforehand. Of course, I won't be able to talk about the products during testing, but that was awesome. And I am sponsoring this really cool Halloween get-together at Aquatic Marine here in Knoxville, Tennessee, at my local fish store. This Saturday, 11 to 3 p.m., we are going to be doing spooky donuts, coffee, and treat bags for the kids. I don't know, the coffee's for the kids, but I guess that's a parental decision there. And then we're also going to be doing 15% off Extreme Foods, the entire Extreme Food line. So that's going to be a blast. I am going to do a live stream from Aquatic Marine while I'm there because I'm going to be hanging out for the event. Yes, JH, donuts. It's good to see you. Not just any donuts, spooky donuts. But that's going to be really fun. I would like to say, and I'll put out a video about this probably tomorrow, but for any of you all that are fish tubers, if you would like to come on that Saturday stream, that's going to be the one from 11 to 3. I'm going to have an open panel for that. Of course, the rules being I need to kind of know who you are, given that we've had some issues with random people coming up on other fish streams and being inappropriate. So as long as I know who you are, if you'd like to come hang out on that panel during the day, you're welcome to. Then later that night on the actual Saturday Night Fever live stream, we're going to have Aquamate and Dr. Black on. So that's going to be our fun little Halloween Saturday Night Fever stream. That'll be a blast. But if you want to be on that, you can just let me know. And I'll also drop links throughout that stream so people can come up. But if you're like, hey, I definitely want to be on there, save me a spot, you can either shoot me an email, fishroomfever@gmail.com, or you can send me a message through Facebook. Facebook probably a little better, but if you don't do Facebook, I understand. I do check my emails. Sometimes things disappear into the promotions folder or the spam folder sometimes, though. Before I go any further, Lefty3213A with the 199 super sticker, the big red arrow saying he is here. Lefty, I appreciate you, buddy. It's always good to see you, and I hope you're doing well. I know things are interesting for you with, teaching and the current health situation being what it is. So I hope you're doing okay out there, buddy. Get down through here.
Can I just cut in real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
I got a text from Bob. He's just really busy because he's planning something, but he's totally healthy.
Awesome.
And how do I sound? I'm trying out using my earphones that I use for my Bluetooth like music, because it won't fit in my it won't fit into my Halloween costume for Saturday. My big earphones. So this is a test.
It sounds good to me. Honestly, I don't really tell much of a difference between that and what you're normally on. So,
well, the cat likes it better because he can smush his head against my head.
And that's what Lefty3213A said. Where can I get a cat boa like Ed?
Well, this one just showed up in front of my house. So I don't know. Somebody just move into the country and people will just drop kittens off in front of your house all the time. That's how I got both of mine.
Yeah, we had a kitten just show up in the yard the other day. That's always fun. John Cox, thank you. I appreciate that. And also, I've gotten some more sales on the website. That is always a plus. I've got text message notifications turned on, so it's always great when my phone goes off and I look at it and it says, "You've got an order." I'm like, yes.
Check it out. Without earphones on, I can wear a hat.
I like that. That becomes you, Ed, very much.
Thank you.
Hey, Chewy LTD, how are you? Grumpy Mike's Fish with the $1 super pooper sticker pooping on the chat. I appreciate the fertilizer for the fish tank, my friend. Always a pleasure. Grumpy Mike is another one. Grumpy Mike just celebrated. Was that one is still ringing in my ear, honestly. Grumpy Mike, I think, just celebrated 50 subscribers, was it? I watched the video earlier and don't remember if it was 50 or 100. But I would like to say, if you've not checked out Grumpy Mike, that's another awesome channel to go check out. I'm not trying to make this a shout out stream, but there are a lot of people that I wanted to talk about. So I'm going to mention them as we go through. If I see their names and or when they come to mind in between questions, because it's either we're slammed with questions and we have a topic, or we have no topic to take questions and we usually don't get a lot of questions. So I came slightly prepared to talk about some awesome channels.
Well, you know who has a really good video out right now, some beautiful fish, is Joseph. He just did one of his blue tetras. Those things are awesome. So cool.
All right. Now, Ed, now I can't see myself to look which way I'm pointing. That way. That guy. He had an awesome video come out that showed me how to culture not microworms, Walter worms. So
yeah, but same difference.
Yeah. So you all should check that out. Show of hands if you went and looked at that video. Now, if you just raised your hand, turn it around and go like this, because I can't see you doing it. So let's see. Thank you for posting the Halloween event at Aquatic Marine. Link to that Facebook page, it looks like. Pegasus Rena says, I'll join you. Awesome. Rena, you're welcome to do so on Halloween. We are encouraging people, if you want, to come on with your costumes. If not, we will still accept you. Lefty3213A, throwing down the email. I appreciate that. And then throwing down the Facebook link. Thank you very much. Hey, Kay and Fritz Wallace says, nice to meet you at the LFS the other day. Yes, that was really nice to meet you. It always tickles me to death when somebody goes, aren't you Fish Room Fever? I love it. So thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you being here. I really, really do. Very cool talking to you. Roll on down through here.
Hey, Diego.
What's going on, Diego? Pegasus Arena says, Fisher and Fever, Chattanooga Ed, I think you actually sound better. Oh, there you go. Thanks, you sound better.
Well, thank you very much. BJ Palmer package coming out to you tomorrow, and to Diego.
Very nice. Hey, Furloughs Aquatics says Fisher and Peaver. Good evening, sir. Good evening to you. That is another awesome channel that I recommend you all check out if you have not. And I hope that that package arrived to you all as well, Eric. I know so far everything has been 100% perfect with things arriving to people, but eventually something's bound to happen. Where was it? Somebody mentioned the milk and bread method that you used.
Yeah, I should have said why I cut the crust off. It's because it turns into a better paste without having the crust.
Rico,
I cut the crust.
Rico said I watched that and wanted French toast afterwards. Yeah. I think I would have, except I kind of got hung up on the. Ed was like, I'm not going to gag on camera. I don't want to gag. So
but I did.
That must be horrible. There it is. John Cox says, Ed, oh, that jumped on me. Find it again. Ed, I dislike the bread milk method. Just use more yeast in the oatmeal and make it drier.
I just got so smelled out on oatmeal.
I can understand that. I've not done it, but I've heard that it's kind of nasty. Beanies Aquatics, how are you? Good to see you.
I love me some bread pudding.
Absolutely. Hey, gamer veteran, what's going on? I had fun lurking doing my water changes, watching your gaming live stream earlier. Oh, hey, absolutely. I was glad to do it, buddy.
When I shot that video, though, when I pushed the button, I must have shoved the camera down just a little bit because I had planned it so it'd be right about here. I was right here. And when that smell came up, I wasn't thinking about it at all, so you couldn't even see my face. I was just...
So I do want to say also a huge thank you to Guppy Guru. I pull that up so you can see that. He put out a video. He did a $10,000 guppy order.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah.
I got the notification. I haven't seen it yet.
I went and watched the premiere, and unexpected to me, he's repping the Fisher and Fever shirt. I was like, that's awesome. I appreciate that. And then he also shouted me out and was talking about Our Fish Collective. If you're not aware of Our Fish Collective, it is a bunch of hobbyist bred fish available for sale online. I highly suggest you go check that out. Get a lot of cool stuff on there, and you know it's coming from a good source.
Tomorrow on the Lefty Show at 4:15, I will be on there with Lefty, and I'm going to be putting my costume on during the stream.
All right.
Because I've got a party to go to directly afterwards.
I'm going to have to jump on there just if nothing else to see the costume.
For sure.
Furloughs Aquatics with the $5 super chat says, thanks for the support, my friend. Absolutely. No super chat required for that. I definitely do appreciate it. And I owe you another one because you actually came on the premiere of my do-it-yourself box filter and threw a $5 super chat on that thing on your way to work. And I really, really appreciate you. That was really, really kind of you. I hope they didn't work you too hard that day. I know you're constantly getting your butt kicked at work. So hopefully that was an easy day for you. But I really do appreciate you. Very cool of you to do. I am, as some of you probably noticed, getting some more video content out. So that's one thing to look forward to. That's also going to mean more members content. I think I'm also going to start putting bloopers on the members content part of it. But I've got about 28, 30 different video ideas all written down that I'm working on. Everything from my top 10 list of dollar store stuff, because I've been doing that for years. And I kind of held off because several people came out with them all at the same time. And I was like, I'm not going to do that right now. We'll let those settle down a little bit. To building my own brine shrimp hatchery, a couple different methods, a couple different items I haven't seen used before. Just a whole bunch of fun stuff on top of course, you know, the 220 fix and moving the piranhas. I think that video is going to be fun just because people are going to want to watch me catching these 25 piranha out of the tank just to see if I get bit again. There was a highlighted. There it is. John Cox says, Fisher and Fever, if you make the oatmeal on the wet side or do not use enough yeast, the oatmeal grows other smelly bacteria. The nematodes do not care as they eat all types of bacteria. Good to know.
Yep,
Very good to know.
I have a terrible nose, and so I don't smell much, but when I do smell things, it's horrid. Except for like a skunk. One time I was driving by a dead skunk, and I said, "Oh my gosh, did you smell that?" to my buddy. And he said, "Yeah." I thought it was steak, and it was a skunk. Ah! So there you go.
So again, if you've got questions for Mrs. Fever or any of us, but specifically for her, because I know a lot of times we'll see questions like, well, what does she think of that? She's here live to answer the questions. Feel free to throw those on there, and we will be happy to answer those. But we'll take any fishy questions. If you've got fishy problems, feel free to throw that in. I know we had some people that were rolling in here from the TikTok side of things, and I appreciate that. A lot of people give me grief for, why do you bother with TikTok? Well, I'll say this. One, it's a whole nother community of fish keepers. A lot of them don't even know the YouTube community is here. So it doesn't just help me when they come over and subscribe. It helps all of us because we build that community by one more person. And I think that's a wonderful thing. And two, I have fun over there and I enjoy it. I can do some things with music that'll get me copyright struck on here. So that's always a blast. This guy right here, I've been wanting to talk about him. I'm glad he showed up. Rack, it is good to see you. For those of you that are not aware, River Life has changed to the Pond Life. I think that was a very smart rebranding, sir, given the all-in that you have done on the ponds and the time that you've spent on that, and given that you are no longer on the river. I've been enjoying the brand new channel. I can't recall the name of it at the moment. I think it was Bird TV. It's Bird something.
Bird Garden.
Bird Garden, that's what it is. Bird Garden. So I can't recall the name of it, but it's got a 24-hour stream on there. So there have been several times I've just thrown that stream on and let it play while I'm editing or updating the store or trying to do things like that. So if you're not familiar with the artist formerly known as River Life, it's now Pond Life, go check out that channel. But I would also encourage you to check out his bird channel. He's got a really cool feed on there, and he's got some awesome videos. But he is in the process of starting from scratch on that second channel, and we all know how tough that is. That is a hard hill to climb when you're starting a channel over from zero. But it's good to see you.
Yeah, I have a dream, James. And my dream is to play a game called Wingspan.
Yeah.
With you, Rack, and Sean.
I feel like I would lose terribly at that, but I'm down to do it.
And just have Rack there to tell us about every one of the birds. Because each one of the cards gives like a little fact on every bird, and there's probably like 10,000 birds. But it would be so cool to play that game with Rack. It would be too awesome.
And see, I almost said River Life again as soon as I saw the avatar there. Pond Life, the good gentleman Rack, throwing down a $20 super chat. Thank you, Rack. You really did not have to do that, but I really, really do appreciate you, my brother. He says, you are too kind, sir. It's the least I could do for you. You have been extremely supportive from the very beginning. Back when I first started, and I think I maybe had 50 or 60 subscribers. You know, you didn't care. It was one of those things that you were willing to talk to me one-on-one. Didn't matter how many I had. And I really appreciated you kind of brought me into the community, and you're local to me. So that was awesome getting to meet you and hang out with you. And I hope we could do that again soon. I know things have been hectic for you, but I'm glad you're back. And thank you for that awesome super chat there. And, I'm remiss because, yes.
He also took the picture for your son, which meant a lot to him.
What's that?
Rack took the picture for your son.
Took the picture, what?
Yeah.
I don't.
At the Tennessee Fish Meetup.
Oh, yeah.
If he would take a picture for the little one, because the little one's like a huge fan.
I remember that.
Yeah, sure, and jumped right in.
Yeah, the one with you and him? Mm-hmm. Yep, I've still got that on the computer. You never told me that's what that was from. I just had the picture. Because I used that to make a thumbnail once of Rack. But I forgot. All these super chats came in, and normally I throw on the glasses and the boa and give y'all a good chuckle and kind of liven everybody's night up a little bit. But I've forgotten about that. So I'm going to have this thing on for a little while to even that up. Lefty says, I can't wait to try Wingspan out. Ed, my copy came in yesterday. That is.
Oh, dude, when's spring break? Come on down and we'll play it. Or not spring break. That's like far away. Fall break.
Yeah, that's a little ways away, waiting for spring break. Maybe everything will be done and over on the human malware, as Bentley calls it, the current health status. Darlene's Tank says, Fisherman Fever, I gathered Cory eggs 2 days ago. If and when they hatch, what do I do? I have Akari first bites and frozen baby brine. You could probably have some success with the frozen baby brine. I've not tried the first bites. I have done it with frozen baby brine and had some success. Again, that's one of those things. Frozen baby brine is better than no baby brine, but live baby brine is even better. We'll probably have about 4 people chime in and say this is exactly what you need to do. I have never actively pursued breeding Corys. I've pulled eggs a couple times, but more often than not, I just find a random baby Cory every once in a while, and it just has survived on its own, surprisingly enough. Hey, Jack Samuelson says, what's good? It's Reapers from TikTok. What's going on, buddy? I appreciate you coming over here. Enjoy watching your videos over there. Pew Fish Zone. Well, Ed, do you have any advice on the Cory eggs?
Not really. I know that my dad, he used to do it way back, and he used to sell them to like lots of fish stores all throughout Missouri and Kansas. And he just ground up what he was feeding the adults. It was before we really got into all of the extra stuff that we do nowadays. And he had success. So.
Absolutely. And there we go. That was the one thing I was going to suggest, was having them in a tank where you can overfeed them versus putting them in like a little teeny container that's not in a bigger water system. But I saw where you just said that you put them in a breeder box and left them in the tank. It is a community tank. You should be good. That way you can overfeed, because the biggest thing is just making sure that they've got some sort of constant nutrition available. That's one of the things that I love about the Marina hang-on breeder boxes, is that I can be using the same water flow or the water supply from the tank and just have that thing turned up to where I may have to take the glasses off if they keep trying to fall off. But yeah, as long as you've got them in a large enough water column that you can technically overfeed them and ensure that they're getting a good supply of food so that they don't starve to death, you should be good. And then John, where was it? John Cox says, for Corys, use Walcher/microworms for fresh hatch. There you go. That's probably going to give you your highest yield from them. Again, I've done it with the frozen baby brine and it's worked, but that, once again, probably not the best solution. Again, Ed mentioned you even just powdering out the flake food. Yeah. Do that too. I do that with a lot of stuff.
And my dad just kept them all in slate bottom tanks. He didn't put anything. It was slate bottoms, but he just grew them up with all the adults, and they didn't even pick them off. So they probably just ate all the mold and junk, that was down there. Just worked out. And he used to have lots.
Yeah, and I got. We had an interesting back and forth. I played devil's advocate a bit on Father Fish's live stream the other day, between him, Secret History Living in Your Aquarium, and myself, and of course the chat debating live foods versus like using powdered flakes. I actually have a mortar and pestle. I bought a super cheap one off Amazon. It showed up as actually a set. It's a smaller one and a larger one. But I'll use that to like super powderize food. You could do it with just your fingers, but when I'm making like big batches to go in my fry food shakers, I'll just powder out a whole bunch and dump it in there. And I've had success with that. Not saying that it's better than live foods, just that, it can be done. Here's a question. Go ahead, buddy. Okay.
We ought to do a video of my freezer.
We should.
I have a freezer just filled with fish food. Maybe I could show all my fish, or my live and my frozen. Because that would be, I got a whole mess. I feed my fish everything. It's crazy. Okay, I'm sorry. What was the question?
Oh, you're fine. Well, it came in the form. Let me take those off. It came in the form of a super chat. Those were tickling my nose really bad. Mainstails, Fur, and Fins. Thank you, Jess, for the $5 super chat. It says, what do you do when you have guppies that are clamped? But you pop that off. Right. Somebody's going to go back and rewind that and screen record it because that thing shot me right in the face and I jumped. But so that's not an issue I have had to deal with, fortunately. Ed, have you had any hands-on experience with that?
I haven't. I'm sorry.
So let's go. What is that? I don't know what the
John Cox would probably know, I bet. Oh, he's already said some stuff. He said, turn up the temperature to 78, change the water, and add some salt. Well, I mean,
all good advice.
Sounds like a lot of the stuff that I would probably do too. So
yeah, I mean, normally I try and keep them 78 anyways, so that makes sense. It probably has helped with not having to deal with it. No,
changing water and adding a little bit of salt is always good.
Yes, absolutely. Salt seems to help with just about anything, and I'm sure people that are in Canada and other places where you can't get fish meds and have had to become accustomed to only using salt have found out that salt takes care of just about everything. And that's one of the main things that even Corey at Aquarium Co-op talks about is, hey, try salt. Salt is a great thing. Use some salt. Of course, he has like the Med Trio and stuff that he uses and recommends for other things, but there are a lot of things that we can use salt for. And
yeah, I mean, I try not to use salt. I try hard not to because I don't want it in with the plants. But yeah, if you put them in a tank without any plants, just go for it. Even though, like, I added quite a bit of salt, and my guppy grass is going crazy with those wild mollies I've got. So, I mean, it's not like it just slaughters everything. And I've been doing a lot of water changes, so a lot of salt's been removed from the water also.
Absolutely. And I'm seeing in quite a few places salt. And generally what I would do before I even salt the tank is I would just go ahead and do a good water change on that tank. It never hurts to get some nice, clean, fresh water in that tank. And then go ahead and salt it. Raise your temp up because guppies don't mind that higher temperature at all. And they're dragging there as well, so it's salt and raised temp. I had, so the HVAC is fixed. We've got air conditioning again. But pretty much everything, all the tanks in the house have been up around 84 degrees. And everything has been fine. The only thing I've really been worried about is my massive Tesselata eel because it's salt water and she doesn't like the super warm. But she's fine. Other than that, all the other fish really enjoyed it. The piranhas got quite a bit nippier than they normally would be, just because the warmer the water, just like a lot of fish, the more aggressive they get. So they're chilling out now. I did a big water change on them earlier. And that's one of those things, if you do have something like that happen and you're going 4 or 5 days with warmer temperatures, do some cold water changes. If assuming you still have water functioning, depending upon what the catastrophe is. But everything did fine. The guppies, I can't tell you how many fry popped out during that time span with the hot temperatures. Everybody said, oh, I'm popping these babies out. So that's been a blast. And even awesome. The Corys did fine with it. So I was really happy about that. So yeah, and I mean, 84, they should do fine. If people fuss at me, and I understand because when you raise temperature long-term, it does increase reproduction. You get, more babies quicker. With your guppies and your Neocaridina shrimp and stuff, but it shortens lifespan if you do it long term. So I have people fuss at me sometimes when they find out that I've got a couple strains of guppies, I've got 2 guppy strains, an Endler strain, and my Blue Dream shrimp are in 84 degree water. And the reason for that is they're on the same system as the zebra plecos. The Blue Dreams are all in the tank with the zebra plecos, which Ed has seen that. That's coming along nicely. They're multiplying out phenomenally well, so I'm getting that awesome blue in with those zebra plecos. But those guppies are doing great. They've had multiple drops of fry. They've been at that temperature for a while, and they are no worse for the wear. In fact, they may even be better off because it's helping to fight off some of the things that they might have had to deal with if they were at cold temperatures. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything else highlighted before I get up.
I don't know if 2 degrees would throw them off that bad. But I had a bunch of cheapy Petco guppies I've been, trying to breed forever I've been breeding them, I guess, or I don't know, keeping the colony growing for about the last 2 years. And now that we got into the fish room, one day I checked that temp, and it was like 95, or not 95, about 85 or 86. And they were always a pain because I always had to keep them about at 80 or 81. And I turned it down to 80, and they almost all crashed, and I've only got some fry left. So,
oh man,
yeah, but you know what? They weren't very pretty, and they were a headache. So, if anything has to crash, I'd rather it be the ones that are my headache.
Absolutely. I always look on the bright side. Chad Krotz, how's it going, my friend? Says Fish Room Fever. A question from Mrs. Fever. All right, I like it. Says, I'm buying Shelly soon. Which species would you buy for your first?
I don't know anything about Shelly. I know peacocks. I know amphibians. I know hat. I don't know anything about Shellys.
What do you think of your Shellys that you have right now, Chey? Because those are kind of the standard.
They're cute. They're tiny. They're cute, but they don't really go on their shelf. And I'm like, why are they shell dwellers if they're not in their shelf?
Well, and see, I know that that's a plus because I've got them. So they're in with the hallway racking system, right by the opening to this fish room and right next to the opening to the bathroom. So they get a lot of foot traffic by them. So they have gotten accustomed to seeing myself or the kids back and forth all the time. So now they're not constantly hiding the shell when we see somebody. So I know that that's a plus that they're not always hidden whenever you walk up to the tank. But
I think they're cute in their tank or in their shells.
And they are cute. And they still go in there at night. And they'll go in there from time to time. They still will dart in there, some of them, when I go to feed. Just because they're still kind of like, why is he that close to the tank? But they're definitely settling in. Now, Grumpy Mike, who is probably still hanging out in here, and I know I'm way behind on the chat. And hello, Candy. I just scrolled down and saw you. I appreciate you being here. Grumpy Mike just picked up some amazing shell dwellers. I can't remember what they were called, but they are probably the nicest shell dwellers I have ever seen, and I am really, really jealous. And I'm sure it's probably already in the chat by now. If not, I'll look out for it. And if we can't find it, if we see HC Aqua in here, he knows exactly what they are. A couple other people might. We were looking at them on a stream when we did that wacko, crazy midnight stream.
These guys were crazy. They were like purple and black. Man, they were hot.
Now, I know I haven't skipped anything. Bird Garden, thank you, Rack. Throwing another $20 super chat down. You really don't have to, but I really, really do appreciate it. As most of you know, I quit my retail job back in June for many, many reasons. One, I absolutely hated life, and two, the current health situation and the way it was being handled at the company were just there was too much risk, especially with having little ones with breathing problems. There was too much risk in that coming home. So that means the world to me. It's been a fun road, but an interesting road, building the brand, building the store, building the channel, trying to balance where the energy goes to. Of course, rebuilding the fish rooms and doing the remodel here. It's been interesting. So I really do appreciate you, Bird Garden. And again, guys, he runs a 24-hour live feed. I don't remember exactly how many species that tend to show up to that thing, but there are a ton of species of birds that show up to that. And it's really, really cool. So you'll have.
I got it.
Absolutely. And again, he's just starting that channel out. And it's mentioned, he mentioned the other day in a video, he was like, I completely forgot I didn't have enough subscribers to go live from my phone, and I needed, 1,000 subscribers to do that. It's something you take for granted once you get there. So fresh start. If you're not doing anything, throw that 24/7 live stream on. Let that thing play. Let's help him out with the watch time on there. Rack's an awesome guy. And again, for anybody that doesn't know, that is Rack, formerly the River Life.
Oh, okay. Because I was about to say, I've never heard of this bird guy, but he's really cool.
Yeah.
I wonder where he's from.
Right. That is Bird Garden. And he has got something really big coming out. I don't think he's released it yet. I don't know the details to it. I'm not going to act like I do, but he was talking about it on a live stream. He's got something really awesome coming out soon. So be on the lookout for that. And again, Rack, much appreciate you. Even more than that, I'm glad to see that you're back. I know things got crazy for you. And
well, this is a question and answer, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, I got a question for Rack. My hummingbirds, I haven't seen them for a while. Have they moved down south? Because I don't want to keep putting food in if they're not going to eat it. But maybe it's because that hurricane came in also. We had about 6 inches of rain.
Yeah, I got my car
school today.
I got my car stuck in the yard earlier. I took for granted how much water we had gotten in. I was like, no, it'll be fine. And I've got like 2 days to get all my stuff moved from the storage unit to the new storage building outside. And so I backed the thing through the grass to it, got stuck. Fortunately, she pulled up from work just in time for me to hook the chain to her car and for her to yank me out. But we got a lot more rain than I thought we would. Real quick, before I go too much further, I do want to say several people have mentioned, and I agree completely, raise the temperature slowly. Don't just, crank them up several degrees or do a really hot water change on them. And Delilah's Critters, perfect example right there, says I raise a degree every 12 hours when needed. That's what I recommend. Couldn't agree more. That is great. You can do, plus or minus that by a little bit. I think that's an awesome, safe guideline to go by there. Okay, so I was going to go check Rena's video, and I got a text from Blackie, and he said, "Good day, Redbeard. Are you blokes dressing up for the Halloween stream?" Yes. I talked to Josh about it, Aquamate. He said he'd try and figure something out for it. So I think it's going to be interesting. I've got something planned for it, which you all will actually get to see before the Saturday Night Fever stream if you come by that Aquatic Marine Spooktacular event live stream from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. You'll get to see what I'm doing. Lefty32138 says, all right, y'all, I got to head to bed. Have a good rest of both of your streams. I appreciate that, Lefty. We've only got 22 minutes left. Time has flown by here. Trying to find where that was. All right, but Lefty, I appreciate you. Have a great night. Sorry I missed your stream last Friday. I got out to that storage unit we were just talking about, and I was trying to get the car loaded up, and Lefty says, "Are you going to be on the stream?" I said, "Son of a gun, I forgot." But I did pull all of that stuff out, so anytime you would like me to come out and talk about those games and cards, let me know. I owe you one. And again, my apologies. Rena, I think your mollies, they're still young, so they're going to even get a lot more color as they get bigger, and then we'll have a better guess at what they're going to be. But they look really nice. I mean, the silvery ones look like they almost could become green sail fins, and then the other one looks kind of like a salt and pepper, but it has blue on it. So I'm wondering if that's actually a molly instead of a platy. I mean, a platy instead of a molly. I don't know of any mollies that have blue on them. That's pretty neat. That is. I did not see that. I may have skimmed over it, or I may not have gotten there yet. But this did remind me, we didn't actually say what shell dwellers we have earlier, I don't think. You asked about the one she has. But we have the Neolemprologus multifasciatus, or the multis. And somebody has put a comment that multis are the easiest, and that's what reminded me of that. I love them. I think they're awesome. Again, the ones that Grumpy Mike got, I haven't seen the video yet. If you did the video, it's been in the past couple hours. But if you're subscribed, you'll see it when it comes out. He has got some of the most beautiful multis. And he may have even said in the chat what they were earlier, and I missed it. He probably did.
They're
But
so nice.
be on the lookout for that. Yes. I'm going to let her take that over. That way I don't get in trouble.
The name?
She's scrolling up for something.
Oh. Well,
oh, there we go. Bird Garden says, Chattanooga Ed, our ruby-throated hummingbirds have headed south. The Rufous hummingbird, I probably mispronounced that, may rarely overwinter in East Tennessee as a vagrant.
Well, I can't find it, but somewhere he said he would play Wingspan with Ed.
Awesome. And there we go. Okay, it must have jumped over some things because I see a lot of highlighted things that I didn't see. So chat must have jumped and I didn't even realize it. Hey, Melvin, how's it going? Says, hi, Fisherman Fever. Good to see you. And again, stuff like that, if you put the Fisherman Fever at Fisherman Fever, it highlights. Even if you're just saying hello, I still read it because you took the time to highlight it. So, Delilah's Critters, Fisherman Fever. I love Mrs. Fever's sweater. Super cute with the little swirly hearts. Yes, it's very, very awesome. It's sweet, but then it's got like the death symbol on it. So it's, it takes away from that sweetness. Sumbu, S-U-M-B-U. Those are the shell dwellers Mike got. I would recommend you go check those out. If you don't know what they are, look them up. I didn't. I looked them up. Man, I wanted them. I wanted them so bad. But between Grumpy Mike and HC Aqua, even if I had had money to throw down on that right away, it would have been a bidding war because I know both of them wanted those really, really bad.
Well, but they're in North Carolina, so we can drive and get some someday because that guy's probably going to sell them forever.
Yeah, and somebody did email me and say that they knew that person.
Wow.
That he was a really good guy and had really good fish and did really good shipping and all that. So, and it was one of our regular viewers. I can't remember who, and they're probably in there, and I'm sorry, but it was through an email, and the email name didn't register in my mind right now as to who it was attached to. Oh, there it is. Bird Garden said, Chattanooga Ed, I hadn't seen your fish before. Very nice. Let's play Wingspan.
For sure. Well, we could play it in my fish room because I got a poker table right here. But it was funny that before I knew that was Rack, I was thinking, oh, well, you can play 5 players at Wingspan, and I bet you he'd be a guy that Rack would like because he's into birds apparently. Too funny.
Oh, it kicked. Let me send Mrs. Fever an invite again because she's actually hiding in the background so she can hear through her headset. So give me just a second to do that. Somebody mentioned that those Shelleys are like Compressiceps. They are awesome, and they had some blues to them. And I am a huge fan of blue. It's my favorite color. And anytime I see a blue fish, that just makes me want it even more. All right. Got her invitation sent out. Coming back to you all, grabbing the chat. I know we got some super chats down below. Had to go back and grab some things that were at Chattanooga Ed's that I missed before that fortunately Mrs. Fever saw. There we go. Grumpy Mike's Fish said, Fisher Fever had 1 DOA, but they are so cute. Will be video Friday or Saturday. Awesome. I look forward to seeing that, Mike. Sorry you had the DOA, but I'm glad that the others are all right. And I can't wait to see them. Very, very cool fish. I'll be watching for that video. Hopefully I get a notification. YouTube's been kind of shoddy on the notifications lately. Pegasus Sister Rena says, Fisherman Fever, Chattanooga Ed. I sent Ed a short video on Facebook Messenger and hoping he could tell me what kind of molly Kaya has. She has 2 different patterns. That was the blue molly you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, and it looked kind of like a salt and pepper. Some people call them Dalmatian.
Gotcha.
But honestly, they're still fry, and so they haven't really grown into their colors yet. But they will. Normally, I mean, sometimes like it's obvious, like blacks and yellows and whites, but like my greens, as they get older, they'll get more green, and that's why I was thinking maybe it's a green.
Tim Carter says, Fish Room Fever. I'm in Houston now. I'll send you an email. I'll try to meet you Saturday. Tim, that would be awesome. I absolutely love meeting up with other Fish 2 people from the fishy interwebs. So yeah, that would be really cool, especially if you can swing by that event. Be there 11 to 3. If need be, if you can't get to the event and it's during that time frame, I could probably sneak away long enough to, have a quick, hey, how's it going on your travel path. I don't know exactly what your plans are, but I'll be looking for that email and we will figure something out. Very, very cool. Looking forward to meet you. And thanks for your support as a member. It means a lot to me.
Now, if you're there from that time and I don't have to do any family stuff, we may be doing family stuff afterwards. This is the weekend where my nephew and his wife came in, and we're going to have the big gender reveal deal during our Halloween party, which I guess I'm supposed to be happy about. But I don't know if we're supposed to be getting together on Saturday or not. And if we don't, maybe I'll head there and I can get my 2 mosses from you.
Absolutely.
And do you sell any other things on your website?
I do. In terms of live plants, I've got a couple of things that I'm going to list, but I've been trying to get sufficient quantities because everything I sell, I've either bred or grown here at home. I'm not importing or wholesaling anything currently. It's all just hobbyist stuff. But I do have on the site, I've got Anubias nana, Java moss, and frog spawn. And then I've also got a small amount of some water lettuce because I've got a tank that's now overrun with it. And then I'm going to be selling Val. If anybody would be interested in some super, super long, already grown out jungle Val, let me know. I've been debating back and forth about listing that.
Uh-oh, we may have lost James.
Am I here? No? Yes? No?
I have you. I don't have Ed.
Okay. Can you hear me, Ed? Okay, I can see him moving again. That was weird.
I thought we lost you because you were spinning, I wasn't. And so I started talking, and then I went black, and I was like, oh, I guess it was hit me.
Gotcha. But I've got, just your standard jungle Val. I'm like I said, I'm thinking about listing the really, really long stuff. I've got some in this tank that's, anywhere from 2 to 3 feet long. I know that's kind of a specialty type thing that not everybody's looking for that. But if you've got a really tall tank, it's hard to find it already grown out. And then I've got some different guppies and endlers on there. And the biggest thing is accessories and some kind of like other products. So lots of air accessories and various items like that. And then as things become available, I've got a lot of guppy fry growing out. So you'll see things changing. And once again, it's not like I have a whole bunch of stuff all the time because it's hobbyist bred. So, I'm not just like, oh, I sold 50 tetras. I'm going to order in 50 tetras to replace those. It's, oh, I have to wait for these, insert strain here to grow out and get to a good proper size to sell them, because I don't want to sell them too small, but at the same time, I want to get them out where they're still young and you have plenty of time with them, because there's nothing I hate more than you buy a fish online and you get it at the last 3 months of its lifespan. I mean, that sucks. Let's be honest. You guppies, have a couple years, so you buy a guppy and then 5 months later it's dead. You're like, man, I paid a ton of money for that strain and lost the entire thing because they were all from the same batch of fry, and so they were the same age, and then they just killed over from old age because the person before you had them for forever.
Now, while I was gone, did Rico Steen need water lettuce?
He might.
How would you ship water lettuce?
In a shipping container. Okay, so what I do for my shipping, a lot of the stuff, I've got some cloth to use specifically for shipping plants, and you moisten that cloth. And then the way that I package it is I use my heat sealer. And this is a trick, because if you just put it in a baggie or something, it can get crushed. If you get it in put it in a little cup with water in it, so I actually heat seal it into an air pillow. And then I double seal that. So you've got this little air pillow. So even if, something else pushes against it or it shifts, it doesn't crush that plant up because it's inside its own little safety bubble. And it's got a little bit of water in there. There are a lot of different ways you can ship them. That is what I've found to be the safest. A lot of times if you ship them in water, that water in transit, if there's a lot of it, can slosh around and break up the plants. So I'm kind of taking some learned lessons from how I've gotten aquarium co-op plants when I've ordered plants from them and trying to apply those things with my own little additional twist, like the air pillow around it, just so nothing can crush anything.
Well, I've got some water lettuce if he really needs it. I had a list of people I was sending guppy grass to, and then I lost my list because I lost all my guppy grass. But guys, I can't afford to send everybody free stuff.
Right.
So start asking again. I ended up sending out like 5 or 6, and then I had like another 5 or 6 more people, and it was like, holy cow, this is costing me like $50 a week.
It does, and that's part of why I've got things for sale, if you will, because so many people want them. And even with them being for sale, like the order I'm shipping out tomorrow morning, it's a plant order. I'm going to probably pay double what I actually charged for shipping on that, and lose money on that, but that's fine, because it'll kind of even itself out, if you will. I'll still have, enough that it's not like I lost money, like you said, just outright paying to send people stuff. It definitely catches up to you. Let me grab a couple of these real quick, and then I got to get scrolling down because
hey, Gary,
8 minutes left, and I know that I'm nowhere near 8 minutes caught up. Loop Noop Hoopy Oops. That's an awesome name. That one's ringing again. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Nothing to say, just a hey, here's some money. I appreciate that. And is that a puppy dog? I'm going to lean into the camera here. That is a cute little puppy dog avatar you've got. Thank you for the $2. I appreciate that. I hope I didn't miss a question or comment from you. But thank you. And then Moonstone Aquatics with the $15 super chat says, Coolie Loaches with bristlenose or Corydora, let me know. Thanks. So is it a question of Coolie Loaches with, you're going to pick one or the other, or Cory Loaches with either? I don't see a problem with either. I've kept Coolie Loaches with both. No issues. If you're asking which one I would do, I like bristlenose. I love my plecos, specifically the bristlenose plecos.
I do the Corys.
And she would do the Corys. She's a big Cory fan. Corys are cute, but, plecos are kind of my thing. And not to digress, because I've got to move through here a little quickly, but I've got a snow white blue-eyed lemon in one of the tanks, and I'm hoping I can get another one bred out of that same pair, because that thing is just
beautiful.
It's gorgeous. I mean, it's just as white as it can be. It's a blue-eyed lemon, and it's from a pure blue-eyed lemon strain, but it is just super, super white. So I'm hoping I can play with some genetics and get another one. But yeah, I don't see any issue with any of those combinations. Should not be a problem. I've got bristles with Corys. I've got Coolie Loaches with bristles. I've got Coolie Loaches with Corys. There are actually some Coolie Loaches down in my snowball tank behind here in the snowball colony, which if I can ever get the snowballs to lay eggs, the Coolies will probably come out because they like to go in those snowball caves from time to time. But shouldn't be an issue. And again, Kim, as always, I appreciate your support. It is great to see you. Thank you for the text the other day just to check up and make sure everything was going well. That's always appreciated too. Thank you for the super chat. Most Quake says fish room fever. Otherwise, they get their own tank trying to bust up some trumpet snails. Okay. That was a follow-up to the other part. I mean, you should be fine. Like I said, I don't see anything wrong with any combination there. It's a pirate sweater. Yes, I like that pirate sweater. Very cool. Pond Life says, Fisher, if you were looking forward to playing Wingspan, I'll bring Bird Garden. Awesome. He's going to bring Bird Garden along with him. Sounds cool. Scroll up here and make sure I haven't missed any other highlighted because it just jumped on me again. Grubby Mike says, Fisher Fever, they haven't grown into their blue color yet. Still pretty young, but still awesome. Yeah, even just the body style of them. I mean, it really kind of reminded me, and I know they're not, but it kind of reminded me of the Black Calvis. Which I absolutely love that cichlid, just with their mouth structure. Really, really cool. But, yeah, I look forward to seeing that video. Sarah Lynn Snow says, Fisher Fever, just found out my power is going to be out for days. What brand of battery-powered air pump would be good? So,
How many tanks, or is it just one tank? Or
Yeah. What I recommend, would you care to grab the Silver 4 outlet air pump over there? There should be one right on the desk or right on the shelf there. What I recommend, if you've got more than just one or two, I can't remember exactly how many tanks you have, but the pump I really like, you should be able to find it at PetSmart. I think they're right at $30. But I have actually powered a rack of 16 tanks, 16 sponge filters off of one of these. So that's a lot better than buying, 4 or 5 or 6 of those $15, $20 ones.
I mean, there's always the co-op ones.
Yeah, if you could get that, before that happens.
I think everybody should buy 2 or 3, honestly, just because they're so nice. I mean,
Absolutely. And those do work great if you've just got a couple tanks. I've got 3 of the USB pumps. It's like the Top Fin 8000, I think is the name of it. Yeah, if you've got time to where you could get an order into you from co-op, then I definitely would recommend you can do those. Those are really simple to set up, and you can either run them off. They don't. You can run them off the little battery packs. I like to run those that I was talking about off of a power inverter on a battery, because I've actually got that backup. If you're running a generator, it really, your options are kind of limitless in terms of what you can do. I don't know exactly what your backup solution is going to be. The other thing is, if you can get water without power run, I know some people can't because their pump requires power to get water. But the other thing would be doing some water changes and getting some good surface agitation in there. You shouldn't have a whole lot of issues. I don't know how many days. And again, feel free to message me, because I know you and I have talked back and forth a lot on Messenger. But
you could also buy, I don't know what the weather's like, but if it's nice, you can buy one of those solar power generators from Harbor Freight. I think they're like $165 or something like that. And they'll keep your refrigerator running and one other thing. So I'm got the co-op air, central airline, and I'll just keep that running all my tanks.
That's the same. That's what I've got set up now. Not that solar power, but my plan is to just plug that power inverter into that car battery I've got, if I ever have to do that. But yeah, message me and let me know how many days and also budget, because and how many tanks. Remind me how many tanks you've got. As long as you're not going a super long time. I mean, the old-fashioned method was just to keep going over with a pitcher or something and re-agitating the surface. But that's one of the reasons.
If you got plants, Lucas doesn't do air.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to be good. You're going to be good if you've got a bunch of plants. Lucas doesn't run anything. So Lucas is kind of like on a long-term power outage in terms of his air supply, because he doesn't use it. Of course, he's got lights and stuff. But
yeah, you wouldn't have lights to keep your plants alive.
Yeah.
They don't use oxygen in the dark.
Yeah. Message me and we can figure out the exact details and get you set up with something. Again, also depending upon what your time span is, there's always the good old fashioned go to Walmart and buy the bait and tackle air bubblers if you have to do that. Are you wanting to run just something that can go off of a USB, like power bank? Are you wanting to do something that maybe you're going to hook an inverter to? Do you have a little generator or a solar panel? There are a lot of variables.
I think you just found next week's topic.
Right. Let me go down through here. Abolished Aquatics, how's it going? Says, just had to empty my goby and shrimp tank. Found a dragonfly nymph in there. I'm sorry to hear that. And I'm missing some smaller gobies, unless they're under the sand at the moment. I hate that. I hate when the alien bugs get in.
Oh my gosh, I had 10 in one of my tanks. I had 2 tubs. One tub had the tadpoles, and the other one had the nymphs. I did the nymphs first, found 10 at the bottom of it. But I had probably 3,000 to 4,000 fish in that tank. The tank with all the tadpoles, only about 200. out of it because I think the little tree frogs were eating my fry. I don't think the leopard frogs were the big tadpoles, but I think the little bitty tadpoles were eating my fry.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get back through here. I know we're running into Chattanooga Ed's time now. Ed's going to be mad at me. Let me grab a couple things here. I know Ed doesn't mind. Let's see.
Trying to hold my breath and turn red, but it wasn't working too well.
Right. Moon, so I'm sorry to hear about the bent guppy, or was that the bent fish that came in that order from whomever you got that from. That always sucks when that happens. Going. I'm only going to grab highlighted stuff at this point. And of course, if there are any super chats, I'll grab those on the way down. But I'm going to go through to the bottom. Pewfish Zone says, what website has your plants? Those are on fishroomfever.com. Same website we've been using for forever. I put a second page on there because I didn't want the shop to interfere with the stream list and the GoFundMe links. But if you go at the top of the page, there's a shop button. You can click on that and go over and check out all the stuff we've got available. If there's something else in particular you're looking for, send me a message. I may or may not have it. Right now, it's been between, do I update the site or do I try and get some videos out so YouTube quits hating me, because YouTube has hated me. I've been stuck in a rut of like being in the same 10 subscriber zone. And YouTube's like, hey, you're down 68 subscribers versus your last period. And I'm like, I know, leave me alone. So I've been trying to get some more YouTube content out so I can get out of there.
I went over 600.
Yeah, he did. Ed hit 600. Thank you all for doing that. If you haven't subscribed to Ed, please go check him out. His link is in the description to the video. That one didn't ring, thank goodness.
Chey, you're so fly.
Alrighty, Kim, I will send you a message as well since I'm running over Ed's time here. Hey, Kenny, how are you? Deb Hall D, I saw where you asked about the vow. If you want to shoot me a message specifically so I don't post it on there and somebody else buy it before you can get to it, and let me know how much you want, and we'll cut you a good price on that. I'm trying to make sure that I give a good price with a lot of value, because that's what it's about. It's about value. It's the whole reason I came here. What I always try to provide is value regardless of what I'm doing. Hey, Crystal's Pets and Plants, thank you for the hello. Good to see you, my friend.
Oh, well, let's go back to Rico really quick. I've been throwing away a lot of plants this week. I literally a whole pot of plants I had to throw in my garden, and I haven't hit my water lettuce yet. That's this tank right here. See all the water lettuce?
Nice.
Well, it's completely covering the tank, and I don't like that. So I don't know if you want me to just put, like, they're not the huge ones you see in a pond. They're small, I think, because they've been just in a fish tank. I'd be more than happy to send you like 3 in a Ziploc bag and see if they make it to you. Just send me your email to my Facebook page, and I will send it out tomorrow when I send out sending out a letter to Rena and to Petzotics tomorrow. So I'll send that out to you if you want 1 or 3 or whatever. I don't know if they'll make it. Never done it in my life. If they make it.
Sorry. Abolished Aquatics. His first time, man, I'm a little shook up. That was referencing that dragonfly nymph. Yeah, that can be really creepy when you look in the tank and you see that darn thing, especially if you don't know what it is. You're like, oh my God, what is that? Long story short, the first one I found was in my piranha tank, so no harm, no foul. But it was because I was an idiot and brought some wild collected plants straight into the fish room. I rinsed them down and did that stuff, but I didn't do like a quarantine on them. And so that dragonfly nymph was perfectly fine with holding on to the plants until he got into the tank. And then I found a couple in the guppy tank because I put some of those plants in there. It's stuff you do and you learn from. That's part of the hobby, is living and learning. And I know not to make that mistake again. I'm sorry that you had that killing off your fish. Hopefully you get them all out of there, because they can be tricky to find them all. They can be really good hiders in your plants if you've got a lot of plants in there.
I was guessing since I had 10 in there, 5 of them were small white ones and 5 were big kind of gray ones. I'm guessing they were probably eating at least 2 fry a day. So think about that. 10 times 2, that's 60 fry they probably ate within a month. But yeah, that's what they look like.
Yeah, they're nasty looking little things.
Yeah, and I love them too because they eat mosquitoes when they grow up and have wings, and I love watching them fly. I just wish they were big. Wish they weren't babies.
Gina French with that $10 super sticker coming in there with the cute little fox squishing on the heart. Thank you, Gina. I appreciate that. I really, really do. It's never expected when we come on here to talk with you all and have a good time, but it is always very much appreciated. And just the fact that, you know, most of you all are members, that support means a ton. I really appreciate that. That is, I mean, it just means the world to me. I wake up and I log on YouTube. The fact that there are people willing to invest in me and the brand and the channel like that because they enjoy it that much just warms my heart every single day. Mainstails Fur and Finn says, hey, James, remember our live stream on Queen, the female guppy, on Monday night at 9 Central Standard Time? It was so informational. Yeah, so I did not get to watch all of the stream. I did not.
What time does their stream start up and go? Because I caught the end. I was on.
So I rely heavily on notifications. I am horrible with remembering everybody's times. That's part of the whole reason I pestered Candy when I first, joined the Fish Fam community, if you will, hardcore, and said, hey, I'm going to follow you until I figure out where everybody is. And she's like, leave me alone. Here's a list. No, she didn't really say that, but I did ask her if there was some place that it was available. And she said, well, here's a list of everywhere I'm mod at and all that. And thanks to her, y'all have been stuck with me ever since. And we have the Fish Fam stream times on fishermanfever.com.
And, Corey brought this up in his last live stream. He said that he doesn't believe that the notifications don't go out. And he thinks it's more people saying that as an excuse why there's not a lot of people there. But as a small guy, I think it's the opposite. I think maybe we're blaming YouTube, but it's our fault because we're not doing it right.
I've got that right.
I get 1 million notifications from Chewy, so Chewy definitely knows how to set it up right. Know, and I do get all the big ones.
Well, the thing is, it's not how you set up the notifications on the channel end. It's how you set them up on the subscriber end.
I will say for 2 months, the only stream notifications I got was Blackies.
Even like Bob mentioned, he's like, they only sent out X amount, or Corey mentioned, he's like, they only sent out 79,000 notifications. He's got 500,000, subscribers. I'm sure more than 79,000. He went through the numbers and said, hey, I can see YouTube didn't send notifications to all my subscribers.
I thought he was saying that. I was thinking
part of it is settings on the subscriber end, but even when you've got it set right, I mean, I've got all of mine set to all notifications, not personal, and I still don't get notified all the time.
Okay. Well, I was just hoping that we were messing up. Not that I'm hoping we're messing up, but that we learn. There's Chewy right there. He knows things. He's awesome.
All right. I'm going. And Chewy, I saw that link that you posted. I opened that into a new window. I haven't looked at it yet, but I definitely will check it out after we get done with Ed's stream, which we probably should get to here pretty soon because we're already 10 minutes into it.
Yep.
Chewy said it
and
should be.
I will talk more in mine because I've got some stuff to ask her.
She does. Darlene's Tank says Fisherman Fever. I didn't get a notification tonight, and I even went to the wait and hit the reminder bell. Yeah. So I am sorry about that. I had several people that missed the premiere the other day because there was no notification. And then like halfway through or, almost at the end or even hours later, they're like, I just got notified. All right, let's get over to Ed's channel. We've hit the bottom. We got through the super chats. The super chats are no longer hanging out at the top. Let's get over there. Link in that. We are going to be right there. Sorry, Ed, everybody. Go over to Ed's channel. We're going to be talking about, do you want to tell them the topic or just tell them to go over there?
Just go over there because if you don't like the topic, they may not show up.
Yeah. Bye, everybody. Thank you.